Hi angels, welcome to Earth Angel Energy. I'm the Earth Angel and today I'm bringing you another pick a card reading, and today's topic is how do people describe you to others? So when people are talking about you and they're describing you, what do they say? And I have 3 piles for you. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So go ahead and take a second, see which pile resonates with you, and we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, pile 1. So if you chose the first pile, then this is your reading on how do people describe you to others. Okay, so I'm seeing something a little bit romantic about you. Very attractive with the 9 of Cups. I do feel like there's a little bit of a note of like your emotions though. So once again, someone mysterious, someone attractive, but someone who people kind of feel like they never really know what's going on with you. With the 3 of Cups, you are fun to hang out with. You are fun to be around. The Hierophant, you could be very studious and smart. But with the Queen of Swords in reverse, I don't know what that is. Let's see what that is here. What is the Queen of Swords in reverse? Okay. Oh, okay. So people could feel like you're not really the type to, like you don't like to hurt people's feelings. Oh, you don't like to make people sad. Okay, you're definitely the kind of person where people feel like you always try to maintain a certain level of like happiness and contentment. Like you don't like to dwell on bad things. And if you're talking to someone, you're going to be very careful to not even necessarily like sugarcoating things, but just you're not going to be intentionally harsh, or you're not going to be like overly blunt to where you like hurt somebody's feelings for no reason. People do describe you as someone balanced, someone like financially stable, dependable. It's like that person that always just brings good vibes. If you're ever going through a hard time, you don't share it. Like people don't know about it. And so you could be described as a kind of person where like you're happy a lot of the time, or you're peaceful a lot of the time, or positive. You just don't bring like drama. If you have problems, you don't really bring them to people. Very financially stable here. So people could describe you as being well off, or you're going to be well off, or you dress really nice, you look really good. 3 of Wands. You've always got something going on. If you're not in a relationship, like if you're single, people could describe you as like waiting for your person, but also waiting for like the right person. Like you're not just gonna settle for anything. People could even say that you have pretty high standards, but I'll be honest, based on these cards, you also seem like you would kind of meet the requirements for those standards as well. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles in reverse. People could describe you as someone who either they feel like doesn't go through that many hardships, or like is never really, people never see you down. Okay. Very loving. Aw. You either have a good family, or you have a good connection, or people just really love you and really love being close to you. People also could describe you, if you have a family, you're either a good like parent, a good partner, husband or wife, or you would be really good in this way. If you have family, people like really actually speak very highly of you. Your family really loves you. Ace of Wands, you're very attractive as well. Oh, people talk about this a lot. But you're not accessible. People could also describe you as someone who, I'll be honest, for some of you, you could be a little bit more selective with who you're intimate with, or you, maybe some of you are celibate, or some of you are monogamous. I'll be honest, like with the Ace of Wands, the 8 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands, you do have a reputation for being like, it's hard to, I'll just say it, like it's hard to kind of like get in your pants, you know? Which I don't think is a bad thing. The Sun, a happy person though. Honestly, it just looks really good. I don't really, 5 of Swords, King of Swords, okay, and the Knight of Swords. That seems to honestly be the biggest thing. Like, I don't know, this kind of reminds me of some people like want people to be like overly hurtfully blunt. And people can feel like sometimes like, why is this reminding me? Someone could be like super harsh on themselves, but like you won't really participate, or someone can be like saying terrible things about themselves and then they want you to like reaffirm those terrible things, but you just don't. This kind of reminds me, and I've known people like this. I'm thinking about one girl in particular who was a friend of mine. She was like part of like our friend group in high school, and she was super warm and like happy most of the time. She was really smart, you know, pretty, everything, and she was really nice and happy. But I do remember, you know, us being teenagers, you know, so many people have volatile emotions, so many people don't feel good about themselves. So I definitely remember people also being like, gosh, like, why is she so happy all the time? Or gosh, like, you know, she never has a bad thing to say about anybody. The Lovers, Eight of Swords, and the Page of Swords. Lovers, Eight of Swords, and the Page of Swords. I don't know if there's people who are like curious about your love life, or Ten of Cups. Okay. I don't know if you have people around you who are like either envious of either your love life or like your dating life or your ability to attract people or your ability to reject people or something. There's something here where people could describe you as someone who like has options, or who a lot of people have a crush on you, or a lot of people like you, or you can get into a relationship really easily. Whether or not that's true, I feel like that's the perception that people have. Okay. The Star, yeah. And once again, there's something here where people just have this idea that even if you are going through challenges, like they're never that bad. You always overcome them. And like your life is just like kind of, you live a bit of a charmed life. So people could say like you're very lucky, or like things are always going well for you. Now with the Star and the Seven of Pentacles, people could also describe you as someone who's either doing really well or who's going to do really well. If some of you are on the path where you're either going to have like a platform or you're going to be a public figure or something, people could talk about this, honestly. Like if some of you are getting into some sort of bigger type of career path, like someone wants to either be like, I said, like either a politician, an actor, a singer, a writer, or something. Now keep in mind, these are challenging careers, but it's not impossible to get into them. But for a lot of you, if you're doing this, people are saying like, oh yeah, like so and so, like they've done this or they're gonna do this. Four of Pentacles with the Five of Swords. Okay, and the Page of Wands. Oh. Okay. Seven of Wands. I'll be honest, some people could describe you as like either having a lot of ops or like a lot of haters or something. Aww. Or like having a lot of people who are like jealous of you or like salty with you for no reason. The World, the Page of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. I also think you do have a lot of people who describe you as someone that they either should apologize to. So the best way I can describe this, so I feel like in my life I've been a pretty good person, but you know, nobody's perfect, and there's been one or two times especially where I just put my foot in my mouth. This was years and years ago, like over a decade ago. But there was like a handful of times where I just said something super out of pocket to someone for no reason. And those moments like still haunt me to this day. And I still regret it. And like to this day, I hope those people like are living wonderful, fabulous lives, because like, I'm like, why did I say that? And you know, sometimes I was like 16 or 14 or something, but still. But to say all that, there's been times where I've confided in like my partner or something and just said like, there was one time I said this crazy thing to this person and I regret it so much. And I think in that context, there's definitely people who describe you that way, where they're like, you know, so-and-so, I don't know why I did that to them. Or, oh my gosh, I wish I could, you know, go back and like apologize, but you know, it's been too long or something like that. I see a lot of that as well. All right, anything else for pile one? Anything else for my pile one? Nine of Cups. I do see a lot of people who you've walked away from kind of having these sort of epiphanies. I just heard you were right, or I should have listened to them. Just a lot of that. A lot of like reevaluating the past when it comes to you. I'm also seeing a lot of people like bringing you up, and that's the context through which people are describing you. Or like new people meeting you and be like, oh, like tell me more about them, and then they kind of go into all of this. Generally like a pretty admiring energy. So once again, financially stable, or you know, you're going to be financially stable, abundant, a warm, happy, optimistic person, someone who's no drama, someone who intentionally is kind. And someone who I think a lot of people feel really bad about if something bad happened or if they mistreated you. A lot of people talking about regretting that. Yeah, there's some serious regret here with that context. All right, that's what I have for you, pile one. Honestly, really nice, pretty straightforward. It looks really good, but I do feel kind of bad for some of these past people because I see a lot of like regret and sadness here. But a really strong affirming, especially for people you're connected to now, people that are kind of coming into your life as well. Honestly, just really positive across the board. And yeah, you got some morals though. I feel like people are definitely talking about your morals as well, especially because you have quite a spicy energy. You look really good, but it's kind of like, they're not like that. They look good, but they're not easy to access in that way. I love to see that as well. All right, that's what I have for you, pile one. I do hope you enjoyed that. I hope that resonated. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, those who book personal readings with me, and my channel members who get access to these readings early. But thank you all so much once again, and until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, pile two. So if you chose a second pile, then this is your reading on how do people describe you, and people are talking about you. How are they describing you? Okay, I'm seeing someone who looks well put together, financially stable. Now with the Two of Wands and the Knight of Wands in the world, you could be either worldly, well-traveled, intelligent. There's something here though where with the Two of Wands and Knight of Wands and the Hanged Man in reverse, people honestly could describe you as someone who doesn't really like to struggle, which I don't really necessarily think is a weird thing. But there's something here where people describe you as someone who plays smarter and not harder. So you could have chosen like a profession that isn't quite as like taxing on the mind and the body. Or there's just some ways that you've learned how to navigate life where I just keep getting like they play smarter, not harder. With the Hanged Man in reverse, you're very action oriented. Like you don't stay stuck for too long. Nine of Cups, you're warm, you're friendly. There feels like there's a little bit of a distance here. So people could honestly describe you as saying like, yeah, like they're really cool. I don't know them too well though. I want to get something for the Two of Wands and the Nine of Wands because I feel like that's going to tell me more. You could also be in some sort of new cycle as well. So people could describe something that's going on with you or some sort of project you're working on or just some sort of, very abundant, if I'm honest. Especially people from your past could describe you. They could either say like you're doing really well, you're very successful, you look really successful, or they think you're going to be really successful. Or they always thought you were going to be really successful with the Sun here. Wow. I do feel like people give you a lot of praise though. Oh, your family gives you a lot of praise. Your family loves you. Wow. I just heard the perfect son or the perfect daughter. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You are like loved. You are beloved here. Okay. So what I'm getting with the way that these cards are coming out is I feel like when people first describe you, it's very much like, yeah, they've got this going on. Like, I think they're doing really well. Things are moving really smoothly for them and stuff. But the more they talk about you, the more like the intense love or admiration comes out. Four of Pentacles, King of Wands, and the Three of Swords. There is something that you've healed from though, but you've moved on from it and you're growing. What is this Ten of Swords and this? Okay. Dang, like you never stay down for long. Two of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So this is what I like. So you choose, how do I explain this? You choose not to necessarily do things the hard way, but you're not afraid to make the hard choices. If that makes sense. So there's something about a moral backbone that you have when it comes to your decisions. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if people are saying it exactly this way, but people could also describe you as someone who doesn't like do, I just heard like stupid things. So I don't know if there's some sort of context. It kind of reminds me of one of the Patreon pickup piles for this topic, where it was something along the lines of people like lamenting about their own situations or maybe their kids or their partner or something and being like, But pile 2 doesn't do that. I wish they could be more like pile 2. There's something here where someone could be like lamenting about their situation or something and being like, but pile 2 doesn't do that. So I don't know if someone's like describing something that someone did that was not the smartest and then contrasting or comparing to you. Yeah, 6 of Swords. I don't know why I'm seeing like if you have a family member talking to somebody else, and like they could be talking about you and everything you've got going on. Like, gosh, you must be so proud. Like, I wish my son or my daughter was like that or something like that. Oh my gosh, yeah. The Judgment. Something about people feeling like you made good decisions in life. And here's the thing. Everybody's life looks different. And some of you have definitely, you know, gone after things that were maybe a little more unconventional, or you've been a little bit more adventurous in life. But people feel like whatever you decide to do, you always do it in like the smartest way. So like, for instance, you're like, okay, I'm going to switch like careers, but then you like make sure to like get a good job secured before you start that new job. Or like you decide to move somewhere, but you do all your research and you get everything lined up and everything goes really smoothly for you. So you're not stagnant at all. Or like if you decide to get married, like you choose a great partner, or you decide to start dating and you like really take your time and you're very discerning with people. There's something here where people have a lot of trust in you. There's a lot of pentacles here though, honestly. People could honestly either describe you as rich, or like you seem rich, or asking if you are rich or something. The Knight of Swords, wow, oh my gosh, okay, well. People could describe you as someone who comes from a good family, or you get a lot of financial help from your family, or they think you get a lot of help from your family. Now, I feel like your family members could also describe you as someone where you're pretty independent, though. You might get help from your family, but you're not always like, please give me money, or please help me. Like, you also could be quite generous as well. Not overly generous, but you're definitely not stingy either. Very balanced. You also like your alone time as well. 8 of Cups and the Page of Cups. You definitely have people you walked away from who miss you or want to talk to you again. I'm getting a bit of like a glamorous vibe from you, if I'm honest. People could also describe you as someone who a lot of people like. I just heard you would like them. Or like, I think someone's describing you to someone that you haven't met yet, and they're like, oh, I think you really like them kind of energy. If some of you are going to get matched with somebody, if you're single, 8 of Swords, 10 of Wands, and the Fool. You could get a little anxious sometimes, or a little bit critical with yourself. People could honestly say like, yeah, they can be kind of hard on themselves, but I don't know why. Or like, they're really talented, they shouldn't be so hard on themselves kind of thing. Okay, anything else? Pretty good so far, I like it. Anything else? I just heard they're not snobby, or they're not like a snob. I don't know. For some of you people think you're rich. I'm going to be so real. 5 of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. But you don't like show off. Or like you try to, some people think you try to hide if you have money or something like that. The Page of Cups, 7 of Wands, and the Chariot. I don't know. Some of you people really think like you've got it. And like, even if you're like, what do you mean? I don't understand. If you feel like you don't appear like well off, people think it's just because you like try to hide it. And I've described this energy before because sometimes I feel like you kind of can catch people off guard. But I'm telling you, you speak well, you stand up straight, you walk with intention, you walk with confidence. People are going to assume that you have money. Like, I don't know why that is, but it comes through so often. And I talk about this a lot on my channel. And so people will start to adopt these habits, or they'll kind of refine these kind of habits. And they're like, why do people keep assuming that I have money? This is always the way that it happens. The King of Swords. Also, for some of you, if you just speak well, or you seem, it's the way you talk. Oh my gosh. You're also a very good conversationalist. The way that you speak, people could say that you're like well-spoken, or you're very smart. It's something about the way that you speak. People just assume a lot of really good things because of either the way you speak, your accent, your vocabulary, the things you talk about. I feel like a lot of people associate like wealth with other like good attributes. So if you're intelligent, if you speak well, if you're polite, if you have good manners, if you're knowledgeable, people will just kind of assume that there's money attached to that, which is not always the case. But I feel like a lot of people are assuming that about you. For some of you, it's true. And in which case, if you do have money or you have a good job or something, or you come from a good family, there's definitely people who describe you that way, 100%. The Queen of Wands. Very attractive, though. Very attractive. Talented. I just keep getting people, like, describing you to people you haven't met yet and being like, oh, you should see that. I'm like, they look really good. So all in all, I'm seeing this sort of aspirational energy, but I do think for you, Pile 2, you're a little bit more discreet or low-key or private. And so I think it honestly makes people's imaginations run a little bit more wild with you. And so when they describe you, it's more so them describing who they think you are or what they think you have and just kind of running with it. So don't be surprised if you're meeting new people, if people have, been told about you, if they have some preconceived notions. Once again, none of it is bad, but just be aware that people might think they know things about you that maybe aren't 100% true. It's not bad things, but they're definitely pretty significant assumptions I'm seeing here. So just be aware. But okay, that's what I have for you, Pile 2. Really nice energy, honestly. It looks good to me, but yeah, just be aware of some of those preconceived notions because those could come back up in the future. That's what I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, those who book personal readings with me, and my channel members who get to watch these readings early. Thank you all so much once again, and until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, Pile 3. So if you chose a third pile, then this is your reading on how do people describe you to others. Okay, people love you first and foremost. So people could describe you either through the lens of like, oh my gosh, I love them. Like that kind of energy. Very loving, very warm, very kind. Two of Pentacles, people could describe you as a little bit busy. Or someone where people aren't 100% sure with the Two of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. I'm not sure how they're saying it, but it's something along the lines of, I really like them, but I don't know if they like me back kind of energy. Now, with the Six of Wands, like you're very nice. So we'll kind of get into why maybe they're wondering that. With the Six of Wands, like very victorious energy. So people could describe you as successful, good looking, very healthy, like either great fitness or great body. Very brave, courageous, like cool. With the Eight of Swords, this is where I'm kind of like, what is the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords here? So let's figure out what that is, because so far it looks really good. I'm honestly getting, when people just talk about, it's almost more so the energy I'm feeling, or when people describe you, it's like, oh my gosh, like Pile 3, like Nine of Pentacles. People could also think you've got a little money in the bank or you're doing very well. For some of you, if you're single, people describe you as like their cool single friend. I just heard rich auntie kind of energy for some of you. And for others, it's just like that kind of rich, attractive friend or family member. Ooh, what the devil? Okay. Very fiery, very attractive. You could have kind of like a spitfire sort of energy when it comes to your communication. You're not afraid to speak your mind. Okay. Someone who like doesn't really care about haters that much, or I heard a player hates to see you coming. So there's something here too about you. I don't know. Let me see if I can describe this because it's great energy. But I do feel like some people in your life are kind of in awe of you. You're like that person where the things that you do, people feel like they can't do it. So like if you go out by yourself and you look great and you're having a great time, people are like, I'd be way too scared. Or just like brave, but successful. I feel like people talk about you almost kind of like this like sort of celebrity friend kind of energy. Five of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Okay. You could be also someone who has grown a lot. Like you didn't start out with maybe like a silver spoon, but you've grown a lot and you've built a lot, like a self-made person. Even for some of you, if you did come from like a more affluent background or more like stable financially, there's something about you not leaning on that too much. Like you're a self-made person no matter where you came from. I feel like especially if your parents talk about you, they talk about the fact that like they're proud that you have like a work ethic, that you have a drive, that you have follow through, very intelligent. Something about the way you communicate though, you really do speak your mind, but like very intelligently, very wise. Yeah, people could describe you as hardworking, very responsible, not afraid of a challenge. How do people describe you? This feels more action-oriented. Now the looks are there. We have the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. So honestly, I'm kind of getting like a lot of sort of almost over the top, a little bit descriptions of you. So I feel like you're almost sort of like described mythically a little bit. Like someone could be like, okay, I'm also getting like someone's met you and they're describing you and they're like, you gotta see this person, or oh my gosh, you won't believe, like kind of the star. And I didn't even notice the Queen of Wands. Some of you are coming out swinging with your energy. And once again, that could be a little bit more subtle. That could be literal. But you are like a bright, shining star here in people's lives. And once again, with the Two of Cups and the Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, people really, really like you. They really admire you. They're very excited by you. But there is this feeling of like, I don't know if they're just being nice or if they like actually really like me, or like, I don't know if they actually would want to like hang out with me, that kind of thing. I'm getting a lot of new energy, so there could be a lot of new people you're meeting describing you. Lovers in reverse and the Four of Pentacles. Lovers in reverse. Three Wands, Eight of Cups. What is this Four of Pentacles? Seven of Swords. What is this Four of Pentacles? Knight of Cups. And the Tower and the Three of Cups. I don't know if there's people who've tried to play you or try to knock you back or knock you down or something. I'm gonna be honest. There's at least one person who really tried to come for you, and they're like really mad because they feel like you do not care at all. I don't know why I'm wanting to like curse in this, on this particular part of the reading. Someone feels like you don't give a like at all, and they're like kind of mad about this. Seven of Swords in the Moon with the Sun. Someone could have even said like, yeah, I did so-and-so to something, and I feel like they don't care. Or like, why didn't they get mad? Or why didn't they do anything? Someone's like stressed about this. There's a King of Wands. I'm going to be honest, for today's readings, there's been some sort of King of Wands who is bewitched, bothered, and bewildered right now with you. Like, how do they heal? Or why don't they care? Or why didn't they call me back? Why didn't they text me back? They think they're too good for me? Someone has very chaotic energy. Now, if there's family, if some of you are not married yet, family members could describe you like, oh, they're not married yet. It doesn't really feel that like harsh though. Yeah, Queen of Cups, Judgment, and the Queen of Swords. It's like, yeah, they're waiting for the right person. It's not even giving me like, oh, like they're not going to get married, or why aren't they? Like, I don't know. Either some of you are already in a relationship, or your family just feels like, yeah, they'll get married, or they'll settle down when it's time, if that's something you want to do. It feels very like chill, honestly. Yeah, Seven of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. There's something, I love your energy, pile 3, because with the Seven of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, honestly, I feel like you give people, you know, the amount of information that you want to give them. And the vibe that I get when people describe you is kind of like they don't really fully know what's going on with you, but they like trust you and they think whatever it is cool. So I was like, yeah, you know, like things are going well for them. Like they're cool. Like, yeah, I don't know. The Seven of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. Also, I feel like people describe you where it's like, there's something mythic about your energy. I don't know. The Queen of Pentacles. This is kind of reminding me of Pile 2, where people were just kind of almost like not making stuff up, but just like making assumptions or inflating their assumptions about you. Because there's something very like mystical or magical, very special about you. Okay, I just got a really interesting intuitive message. I think there's a lot of people around you who honestly are very bored with life or bored with the people around them. And you seem very different. You seem like, honestly, like a bolt of lightning. And so people kind of get excited describing things about you and maybe even like stretching the truth, I guess. How do I explain it? So say, for instance, someone meets you and they think you're really attractive. They could describe you as like, oh my gosh, just like one of the hottest people I've ever seen. Or like people meet you and they think like, oh, like they seem like they have some money, and be like, oh, I bet they're super rich, or they've got, like, I don't know why this is coming through this way. The Page of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the World. Page of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and the World. I almost get this feeling, oh my gosh. You know what this reminds me of? So, okay, I'm just going to say, I don't know why this is coming through, but I just heard cult of personality. So, I was having a conversation with someone about this recently, how I think a lot of people really are craving for like bigger personalities, or people who bring excitement or direction to their lives. And I feel like that's either happening with you or that will be happening with you, where people are really like clinging to some sort of very powerful energy within you, and the way that they're describing you, it's being influenced by that. So obviously, like, I'm not saying that there is a cult of personality necessarily, but this reminds me of like, you, especially maybe when people are like younger, you meet that person, they're so good looking and they're so cool and they're doing all this cool stuff, and so when you describe them, you're just like, oh my gosh, like pile 3, like, oh, you should meet them, like, it's giving me that. It's like very excited, very like blown away kind of energy, but a little bit over the top. Five of Wands. Okay. Queen of Cups. Okay. Five of Wands and Queen of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if something specific happened, or if people are now described, like people who've known you in the past or something. I'll just read the cards the way that I see it with the Five of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. People could describe you as someone where like, oh yeah, so-and-so were fighting over them, or so-and-so tried to come for them. Three of Swords. I don't know if you're a heartbreaker, or if somebody like crashed out over you. Once again, I'm just getting like this mythic energy here. Kind of like main character energy, if I'm really honest, pile 3. Like, people kind of talk about you like you're the main character. Anything else? And I'm really not trying to like big you up or anything, but anything else? Okay. The Three of Swords. And I mean, what do you want me to say? Now, keep in mind, like, I do feel like there's definitely people who have like a saltier energy with you. So with this one, like, you could have some people from your past, honestly, who are like, you know, oh, there was all this drama and they were just able to get away scot-free, or something like that. Two of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Sun. Oh. Okay, that's where a little bit of the saltiness is coming in. And I'll just tell you, to be fair, oh my gosh, all the cards fell on the floor, but we're pretty much at the end of this. So, the King of Swords. I'll just say this. With the Two of Swords and the King of Pentacles that we got, I don't know if there's some people who feel like you're protected or cushioned by a certain level of privilege. I don't know who's saying that, but it looks like there was a situation that honestly was pretty chaotic, and you were just able to kind of escape and live your life. And so people could say like, oh, like so-and-so like takes care of them, or they have money so it didn't matter, or they have connections. I don't know, something like that. Or they were just like able to get away scot-free. I don't know if people describe you as someone who's able to get away with things. With the Empress and the Three of Swords, like, you're kind of a heartbreaker. So I don't know if there's someone who's kind of salty, but there is someone who describes you as someone like, oh yeah, they get away with everything, or like their life is so easy, or something like that. But I feel like that's one or two specific people who are kind of salty. Yeah, the World. And I feel like they're people you've wrapped up the cycle with as well, so they could just be a little Salty. And who knows, for some of you, maybe you do get away with everything. I don't know. But that's what I have for you, pile 3. Honestly, a very nice energy. Slightly polarizing for 1 or 2 people. But I do think there's something about you that really does get people excited. You have this great joie de vivre. Very this excitement, this lust for life that I think people get very enamored with. And so they can get pretty excited when they describe you to others. But it honestly looks good. But don't be surprised if people have notions about you before they meet you, or they seem very excited, or there's something about you that really just gets people going. But it looks good. I feel like especially if you channel this energy into some of your goals and ambitions, this could prove to be really powerful. And if any of you are getting into any life path where you're going to have some sort of image or some sort of brand, I think this could actually be really potent and very powerful for you. All right, that's what I have for you. Great messages today. I do hope everybody enjoyed. I hope everybody resonated. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, those who book personal readings with me, and my members who get early access to these pick cards. Thank you so much. It's because of you I'm able to do these messages. But thank you all so much once again. And until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you.